I have thousands of hours of Airbnb experience, so I can confidently come to you today to help you with any fears that you have with getting into the Airbnb business. Guys, every second of this video, from now till the end of the video, is going to be power-packed and designed to help you get out of your own way. Understand the fear so you can make legitimately logical decisions on having a successful Airbnb empire. My name is Investor Mike. I'm the #1 Airbnb coach in America right now. And I'm going to show you each and every step of the way and what you're fearing, and most of the time, why it's not even the truth. Number one, most people fear coming out of pocket if they can't get enough occupancy in their unit. Think about this for a minute. If you are renting a property, now guys, we are talking about rental arbitrage in this video, and essentially what that means is a fancy way of saying we're not going to buy a property, we're just going to rent a property from a landlord, we're going to get their permission and put it on Airbnb. Okay, I've got other videos for purchasing, but for this video, we're just renting a property, which is the easiest way to scale this business and build an empire. Now, most people fear that what if I pick the wrong property in the wrong market, do I have to come out of pocket to pay the landlord each and every month? The answer is yes. You know, the #1 reason that people fail in the Airbnb space is because they cannot pay the landlord, which is another way of saying you don't understand the markets. You're not making enough revenue from guests to be able to pay the utilities and the rent. It's a valid fear. I'm going to help you with that fear right now. Guys, if you get one thing out of this video, please understand what I'm telling you is extremely important. Please do not get into the Airbnb space without using paid software. You know, over 90% of people that get into Airbnb generally fail in their first year. That means that 9 out of 10 people are struggling because they don't understand markets. Guys, this is not like taking a traditional tenant and putting them into one of your properties for the next year and never seeing the person. You're talking about a hospitality business, so you have to learn, just like the hotels do, the in and outs constantly of people. People are vacationing, staying for 2 weeks. People are coming in for a month. Maybe it's a travel nurse, doctor, chiropractor coming in for months at a time. You have to understand this business. So the fear is very valid, but I'm going to negate it right now and show you how to mitigate the risk of picking the wrong property and not being able to pay the landlord. If you get paid software, this should help you tremendously. For example, airdna.co is probably my favorite. Do not get the free version. Make sure you get the executive level or higher so that your numbers are not skewed, they're actually accurate. Let me give you a couple factors that you can use picking the market and picking a property that you can rest assured that these numbers are going to help you make clear decisions. Number one, you want to make sure that the market itself, when you're looking at it in airdna.co, the market does over 60% occupancy. You want a 60% occupancy or higher, number one. Number two, you want to make sure that the ADR, the average daily rate, is above $150. Very important key metric so that you're not competing with other hotels in the area. Number three, you want to make sure that you pick a market that has more than 250 active Airbnbers, but less than 10,000. That's a great market. Now, guys, I've been telling you guys the Midwest, Iowa, right? You got Kansas, you've got Alabama, you've got Montana. These areas, guys, are very, very good right now because they're not caught up with the trends like Miami, like Dallas, like Chicago, like Atlanta. So you pick markets where they're not caught up yet. They're not as good at Airbnb, and you come in and smash them over the head. When you're picking a market on AirDNA, think of the 4 H's when you're picking the actual property and the location. Try to be around hills, hospitals, hotels, or H2O, meaning a pool or a hot tub property or a lake or ocean view. If you're around one of these 4, you should do really well. This is what vacationers are looking for. That being said, guys, use AirDNA paid software. My students get my software absolutely free as just being a member. It's a $2,000 software that I pay for the year up front. You guys will have access to that as well, as long as we're working together. Okay, now, if you use these metrics, pick cities that are Nashville, Chattanooga, right? Waco, Texas, St. Augustine, Florida, Jacksonville Beach, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, You've got Broken Bow, Oklahoma, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Phoenix, Arizona, Temple, Arizona. You've got a lot of great areas that you guys should be looking for that are doing really well. Joshua Tree, right? You've got Santa Clarita, Santa Barbara, California. These are amazing markets for the Airbnb space. Guys, I'm super, super excited to share with you that when you look it up there and you follow the metrics I just shared with you, if you have to go back to this video 100 times, make sure you do that so you can cure your fears of picking the wrong mark. The other thing you can do is just model and mimic what other people are doing. On top of paid software, just go into Airbnb as a traveler, right? When you go in there, pick certain days in a market. Let's say you're looking in Waco, Texas. Go to Waco, Texas in Airbnb.com. Pretend you're a traveler. Try to book it for the weekend. See what's available. See what properties pull up. Look at what they're doing. Look at their amenities. Do they have a hot tub? Do they have a pool? Do they have, king beds? Do they have, design on their ceiling? Do they have a chandelier put in there? Look at the inside. Do they have an easel mirror? Do they have, what amenities they have? Also, look at their pricing structure. How much are they charging per night? Guys, you can steal the data right off of Airbnb from other competitors so you know what markets are strong and which ones are not. You can also look at their occupancy. Just go to the calendar like you're booking it and you'll be able to see, is it booked or is it wide open? If it's wide open, generally it's not going to be a good market, right? Number 2, are there additional costs? This is another huge, huge thing that I get asked a lot. Are there additional costs? The answer is yes, okay? So, first and foremost, if we are not working together, you would have first month of rent, you would have your security deposit, and you would have your furnishing. You would also have the software that you need so you can make sure you check the data. And you would have contracts, right? Or at least a lease addendum. And then you're gonna have the cost of electric, rent, and any snacks, okay? And linens. Now, if you and I decide to work together, let me tell you how I became number 1. Because I help my students get into the game with very minimal money on the front end. Number 1, you don't have to worry about furniture and property. Number 2, you don't have to worry about software. Number 3, you don't have to worry about contracts. Number 4, you don't have to worry about your first month of rent. Think about that. And number 5, you have the number 1 Airbnb coach helping you. So additional fees, yes. Working with me, no. Sure, you'd still have to pay the electric and you'd still have to pay, snacks. But the majority of the costs on the front end, I'm working with you to help you so you can get into the game with as little money as possible to mitigate the risk. Also, so you're profitable much quicker in the game versus waiting 6 to 9 months like most Airbnbers. I'm gonna help you get in the game very, very fast. Number 3 fear, and that is how much time do I need to get into this game? Let me say it this way. My very first property back in 2016, it took me about 25 to 30 hours a week. I didn't understand automation. All I understood was that I had one property and it was taking about 25 hours a week for me to run with guest communication and also the cleaners. Today, we're picking up 5 units at a time. And I will tell you this, working with me and you understand how the automation works, with our entire portfolio, I spend less than 2 hours a week. When I tell you that the time invested that you need when you learn how to automate this and go with a multi-channel calendar and integration to a software where you can take Airbnb, vrbo, bookings.com, and you can take a Furnish Finder and API code them over to one multi-channel calendar that will have access to you and you'll have access to the cleaners through. They will be able to see the calendar. They know when to go in to clean the property, and when another guest leaves, they know when to clean again for the next guest. This is gonna dramatically decrease your time. If you can give me 10 minutes a day, I'm gonna show you how to run this business effectively, no matter if you have 1 property or 10 properties. We are doing the same thing right now where you don't need a lot of time if you learn how to use software. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that. But I will tell you this, you can find your cleaners on Turno, that's Turno. You can then take that and connect it to your Guesty for Host, which is a multi-channel calendar so that your guests know exactly when to come in, your cleaners know when to come in, they know where to clean it, it's all integrated there. You take Airbnb, vrbo, and bookings.com, you put it into Guesty for Host as well, and now your guest communication is also done by bots through Guesty for Host. I know I'm getting complicated, but this is what I do every single day, guys. And if you go back through this video over and over again, you're gonna be able to put it in pieces to put it together, okay? You could spend 20 hours a week on one property, but I'm gonna tell you something. If you learn how to do this game, you should be spending no more than 10 to 15 minutes per day with automation. I'll show you exactly how to do this. Number 4, I don't have any sales experience, Mike. I don't have any Airbnbs. I don't have any business credit yet. I have bad personal credit. I don't have a whole lot of money. I've got some money saved up, but I'm not a millionaire. I understand. That's a massive fear getting into real estate because most people think of getting into real estate. You need a lot of money, you have to have great credit, and you got to have experience. None of that is true. I don't care what your credit score is. I don't care if you have a whole lot of money or not. I don't care if you've got Airbnb experience. I don't care if you're working a 9 to 5. I don't care with any of that. Here's what I care about. That you have the right mindset and you're the right person with the right optimistic outlook on what you want to do. You want to build an empire. You're not looking for one property for the rest of your life, but you're looking to build an empire for you and your family. And if that's you, then I want to help you. But I don't care what your credit score is. I don't care how many Airbnbs you have. I don't care what your sales experience is. I don't care how much negotiation you have. I don't care if you have your own properties yet or not. Because I'm the only person in America that's willing to do one thing to help you change the game and to help you get into your first couple properties. And that is, it's not what you know, it's actually who you know. If you're interested in learning this technique, where it involves me helping you with all those things, you're gonna put the word Airbnb in comments, and I'm gonna personally reach out to you directly so I can help you get in the game. And lastly, zoning and regulations. We took 20,000 cities in America and we color coded them from red to yellow to green. Red, don't even think about going into these cities. Dallas, New York City, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, right? These are red cities, okay? Then we got the yellows, and there's a lot of yellows. The yellows basically say proceed with caution. So maybe you need a license, maybe you need a permit, XYZ. And then we color code the ones that are green as well, and there's a lot of these. In fact, there's over 50% are still green. And green basically says, you're good to go. Don't have to worry about permitting. Don't have to worry about license. Literally, you can get into this game and not have to worry about the city and paying the city and the fees and everything. The zoning will allow it in that city, in that county at this time. So guys, I'm telling you something. The fears that most people have getting into this space are generally over, I don't pick the right property, I don't know much about it, I don't know where to start, I don't have great credit, I don't know about the zoning, I don't know, if the property's gonna cost me a lot of money later. I just helped you cure these fears. All these are valid concerns that I have solved over and over and over again with thousands of hours in this space to help you so you don't have to worry about those fears. Guys, listen, if you want help, you have the number one person here willing to essentially do everything for you to help you learn. You're gonna get to listen in and you're gonna get to learn from the number one Airbnb educator so you can get into this space and feel good about the decision you made. Put the word Airbnb in comments and I'm gonna reach out to you directly. God bless, be safe. Let's roll.